still, after 90 minutes, that solitary strike from Peter Aqua Amidu proved crucial for Kumasi Asante Kotoko artists at giving them their first win in the second round of the Ghana Premier League. Their opening game was against Heart of Lions. They lost. This time they've bounced back to winning ways, and you can see the joy in the face of the Asante Kotoko players. And for the Bibiani Goldstars players, disappointment for them because they thought that they could get something from this game against the Porcupine Warriors, but it wasn't meant to be. Kotoko reigned supreme at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And this young man, Peter Aqua Amidu, gave Kotoko that victory. I'm sure Prosper Natiogum is super delighted with the charges after earning 3 points. That is what Kotoko are seeking, and they've defeated Frimpong Manso and Bibiani Goldstars. You're still watching Star Times at the channel 247. My name is Mutala Yakum. Still here with Nanedu and, of course, Coach Ebenezer Sefa. I'll start with you, Nanedu. Second half, not much action, even though both teams got chances that could have seen the game had more goals, but the likes of Kwabena Owusu missed glorious opportunities. Steve Desi Mukwala had opportunities to also add to the tally of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He also missed. So the one goal that was scored in the first half was what Kotoko held on to get 3 points. Good for them.
When you look at the Kotoko team, I don't know the reason why, but when Lamte is not in the first 11, they struggle to, swing passes from, the deep of midfield to the attack. That is one thing that is affecting Asante Kotoko in most of the games that Lamte is not clicking or is not in the starting lineup. And I think it's one area they need to work on that. Even the most important thing is they've been able to get the maximum 3 points, but they need to work on that. Rocky Jamina and, Che Jamina really work hard in the midfield, but I hardly see them, swinging passes from the deep of midfield to the attack. And Mukwala today makes a lot of chances in the game. Kalu Atara was not really seen, especially in the second half. That is why the coach introduced different players in the second half. So I think it's a good game for them to get the maximum 3 points, but they need to, work very hard. At least home games like this, Bibiani Goldstars that we know in recent times in the Ghana Premier League, they didn't put a lot of pressure on the Kotoko defense, especially in the first half. In the second half, they tried to do something to help the team, but I think Kotoko need to work hard. If they really want to score more than one goal in some of their games, they need to work hard to get the results.
Of course, and they worked hard to get the results. For Bibiani Goldstars and Frimpong Manso, disappointment because this was one of the games that they were very fired up coming into it. Prior to the game, they thought they could come to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium and upset Kotoko because last season they end up points there when Abednego Tete strike leads. This time, it wasn't meant to be, Coach.
I think that the players that replaced the injured and then suspended players did very well. I mean, to be honest with you, nobody gave Kotoko that chance to be able to dominate Bibiani Goldstars. They dominated the first half and they also dominated the second half. The latter part of the game, Prosper decided to manage the game. He just has got a goal and he wants the 3 points because the way the Kotoko players were playing, balls were not going through to Steve Mukwala. The only chance that went to him, see the way he blew the ball away. And of course, bringing on Eric Zeze just to hold on possession, draw rings around the players of Bibiani Goldstars. And I was surprised Frimpong Manso kept Kwabena Owusu to the 80th minute. He was waste. And his posture, his attitude on the field tells it all, that he was not ready for the game. So he should have sent him off long before the 80th minute. And Apia Makati, I don't know why, he came to play less than 20 minutes. Yeah. And I was surprised because you have a player of the caliber of Apia Makati on your bench, and Eric Bosonki was struggling in midfield, Frank Amankwa was struggling in midfield, and just he kept on using those players, and there wasn't any impact in the upfront of Bibiani Goldstars. Credit goes to Kotoko. They managed the game very well, and I think that Blay used his experience very well for Kotoko, especially when Nuruddin went out. He was so marvelous at the back. And of course, Rocky Jamina did a lot of work in midfield, though his name was not being mentioned through the commentary that Nana was giving. But I think that he did a very good job in midfield. For Bibiani Goldstars, they had to go back and reanalyze themselves because the game that they gave today is not what they've been giving, especially the last 3 games of Frimpong Manso. Kotoko, for me, was the better side, and they deserve the victory.
And Coach, I'm sure Frimpong Manso will be biting his nails knowing that Apia Makati's impact in the last few minutes of the game were felt. I'm sure he would tell himself, I should have brought him on earlier.
So what stopped him from the? You were the coach. You put up a strategy, and if it is not working, you either change the system on the field of play or the personnel. But he stood there. He was there watching the game whilst Kamara Usu was messing up in the game. Couldn't control well, couldn't pass well. Look at the chance that John Tete gave him. He just blew the ball away. He had another one. He didn't know what to do, and he has to feel calling for a penalty. For what? At the end of the day, Frimpong Manso, for me, have himself to blame because he saw what the boys were doing on the field of play. And I think that Prosper tactically.
This was the opportunity you were talking about.
Yes.
Teddy Cooper passing back.
Yes.
And Ifan Kwabno,
Yes.
so he should have done better.
Yes.
At least work the goalkeeper.
He just blew the ball away. And for me, he just blew the ball away. And after this, he had another one that Alex also gave him. And I felt that he could have done better. Not this one, the second one. And this was just about a minute into the second half.
Yeah.
So if he had scored, probably the game would have changed. Yeah. But he blew it away. They had another opportunity, and the same person, Kamara Usu, couldn't even control well. And then he lost the ball, and he was down calling for a penalty. That was in the 80th minute when the performance took him out of the game. Kotoko did very well. I think that Kotoko should have scored a second goal. The chance came, but Steve Mukwala, as I said, I wasn't surprised the way he was squandering chances because that has been his style.
And coach, when you look at the kind of football that we saw from Bibiani Goldstars in the first half, I think after the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, the coach should have introduced Apia McCarthy. When the player is fit to be on the bench, it means he can play at least more than 30 minutes of the game, if not fully fit or 100% fit, at least 30 minutes of the game. Because in the midfield, you struggle to see, passes from deep up midfield to the likes of Kwabno Usu and Alex Tasso. That the role of a deep line playmaker or an offensive midfielder who creates spaces for the attacking players to run through. And this is one thing that is the trademark of Apia McCarthy. So once he's fully fit and he's on the bench, you don't sit up in the first half. You bring him early in the second half to do those distributions for you. And that is one thing that Bibiani Goldstars didn't do.
So the away goals of Bibiani Goldstars continue, and these are the last 5 games. Are not good enough. 4 defeats and 1 draw. They lost against Saviana by 3-0. And we played with Team United. That was the only positive result. They have Mediama beat them by 2-0. And they made Asante Kotoko. People beat them by
The Premier League. You only have to fight to win their last game of the season. That was their way. They lost all. And they couldn't win any of their away games until the last game against Ediana. So for me, I think that they need to analyze their team very well. To be honest with you, I find it very strange when I see teams with individual players playing a team that has got a template like Kotoko or any other team that have got template. You need to read between the lines because if this player is not in and this player comes in and the coach play the same system and the players give their best, you give credit to that coach. But at the end of the day, the opposing coach should be able to read between the lines. Where can I use to hurt my opponent? Where can I use to commit my opponent? There wasn't any flair in the midfield of Bibiani Goldstars. But look at Kotoko. Baba Yaya was just running with the ball. Unless you foul him. Yeah. He was cooling temper. He was making Stephen Mukwala runs into the spaces. Though he was not sending the ball to him right. But the two Jaminese were doing the job in midfield. So virtually the Kotoko backline was just calm. I look at Henry Ansu. He comes before he takes the ball. Nuruddin, before he went out, the same thing. And look at Blay, using experience to take every second ball from Alex Asu and then Kwabena Usu. Excellent from Kotoko. So for me, sometimes our coaches also need to vary their game and also look at their players that they have on the bench, whether they can come in to change something for them or not. Okay. But for me today, Kotoko has been brilliant.
Okay, so Nanedu, it wasn't a vintage performance from Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but some players excelled in the typical example is Justice Blay. We'll come to that. But let's look at the last 5 home games that Kotoko have played. They've now had 4 wins and they've not scored more than 2 goals at home. I don't know if that would be a worry for Prosper Natiogum, or he would also take solace from the fact that they are winning their games, and that is the most important because the last time they lost a game at home was against Dreams FC by 1-0. Then they beat Mediama by 1-0. Brecum Chelsea by 1-0. They got a 1-0 victory over RTU same, and today they've gotten another 1-0 victory. Operation One Goal project for Asante Kotoko Nanedu.
I think they are missing a lot of chance. I don't think their mind is all about scoring just one goal, but they always think about the 3 points much more than everything. But they are missing a lot of chances. Mukwala, Kalu Atara, all these players, they were missing a lot of chances. So going forward, they need to improve up front and score more goals in game because they have the players that can score more goals. Player like Somwa is a quality player. Bringing Opoku in the second half is not a bad player, but I think Somwa could have offered a lot, much more than the Opoku guy. I think they are not a bad side, but in the second half, they should be more purposeful up front and score more goals for the team.
Of course, and I was talking about Justice Blay. This is a player who has suffered a lot in terms of injuries. He's been plagued by series of injuries ever since he signed for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I call him Mr. Versatile. This season, about 2, no about 6, no about 4. Even despite the injuries and how slow he is sometimes to react. He's that good, coach.
New Justice Blay, Hazakes, Mediama. Look at the years that he has spent with these two teams. He has never flopped. Just Blay has never flopped. Remember when Masokno took the Chan team to Senegal? You saw him and James Akam and no flop. And Latif, Anabila, Augustine Okra,
Shafi
Mimini. We have Mohamed Alassane. We have it was super. Blay has been solid, and for me now because of his injury, he broke his leg when Mediama played Accra Lions. No, Legon Cities. That is Joseph Ajay.
Yeah,
he went off for a year, and then he came back. I mean, if he had been another player, he would have been off. But you look at Blay, somebody who has played as a pivot throughout his career, throughout the time that he has been on the field of play, and today he's playing as a right wing back, or possible a centre back, and he has been fantastic. Any role given to Blay, he will just execute it. It tells you how serious he is and tactically disciplined he is. He's matured. I mean, look at it, and he has shown today. He made nonsense of Kabno, so he made nonsense of Alex Asso, and these were two players who were supposed to be on him, including Roland Frimpong. And Blay, for me, was if he wins the man of the match today, I will not be surprised.
Well, we'll find out who won the most valuable player of the game. But Kumasi Asante Kotoko did the needful by winning this game against Bibiani Goldstars. And prior to the game, assistant coach of Kotoko, David Oklu, told us that it's only one aim to go in and get the 3 points. So let's have the thoughts of the coaches after the game, starting with David Oklu.
Hi, Dave. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Nana.
I guess it's the perfect response you were expecting from that defeat in Pando.
Yes, Nana. I told you we're going to do everything to get a decent result, and thank God we got a decent result.
Now walk us through the game. What did you do right to beat this Gold Stars team?
I think the first half we were on top of our game. You could see that we dominated. The boy play to our game plan. The structure was good. But the second half, I think Gold Stars came in hard. But the most important thing is the 3 points, and we got it.
What accounted for the Nuruddin substitution? I didn't understand, but when Tedeku came in, you guys were able to hit the back of the net. What happened to Nuruddin?
Yeah, Nuruddin is a right-footed playing at the left side. He has been doing well so far, but today he's a bit jittery, so we thought of bringing it a natural left back to consolidate the position.
Do you think you were at your creative best and that you created enough chances to have scored more than one?
To be honest, we've not created enough, but the most important thing, like I said, is the 3 points.
You go second on the league log, although the league leaders have a game in hand against nations to play, but I'm sure you're still eyeing the catching up with the top.
Yeah, we will take it game after game, and like today, yeah, it was not flamboyant, but we got the needed result.
Kerala have a new home grounds in Narelugu. That is your next stop in the Premier League. How are you looking forward to the trip up north and the game?
They've knocked us out of the FA Cup, so we are going there to give them a run for their money.
Good luck on that journey in the game.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach.
Yeah, hi.
The kind of results that get you disappointed, especially when your Chargers have played so well.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. for me, it's a game at least we deserve a draw. We shouldn't be losing this game, you know. Very, very painful. Especially in the second half, I think we dominated play and then could have equalized. But then, I don't know. For me, I think we had a ball which seems like a penalty. Maybe I need to have a second look at it. But for me, I think it looks like a penalty. You know, it's not a game we should lose at all. At all.
But beyond thinking you had a penalty, do you think your guys could have been clinical enough to at least scoop a point?
Yeah, you are right. At least he should have finished even that ball before the opponent came. I think he delayed too much on the ball. He should have scored this goal. There's no doubt about that. But that is football. Sometimes such goals, the best players in the world sometimes do miss such opportunities. Yes, it's painful, but that is football. We take it at our feet.
The story continues for Goldstars. Bad travelers, they don't win away games. It's something you should be worried about.
Yeah, of course. It's about scoring. You know, for instance, we didn't score today, and then also maybe in our previous games we were not scoring at home. So maybe we need, even at home, we in 3 games we scored 10 goals. So it means we need to look at our approach in the away games. Yeah.
Up against Olympics in the next home game, your expectations?
Well, we have to win. We have to win. We've lost here. Yes, Olympics is a good side, but then at home we are also very strong. So I'm very sure we will win at home.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, thank you.
So one thing my mom never came to terms with is when a coach loses a game and goes like, we shouldn't have lost the game. My mom keeps asking me, that is not Coach Rokasa. We shouldn't have had one more winning. I don't know. That is what Frimpong also says, that they shouldn't have lost this game. And also he talked about Kwabena Usu and says that at least one of the 2 chances he got should have hit the back of the net, especially that second one where he says he delayed.
I mean, some kind of lackadaisical attitude on the part of Cameroon. So for me, I said it before the first half, off air and even on air. During recess, I spoke about it. His posture, his demeanor, everything about Cameroon Usu today tells me that he was not ready to play the game. Because look, a player of his caliber, and yes, my own Cameroon Usu, having yourself at that position in the box. Yes, as the coach said, great players miss such opportunities. You are down by a goal. You enter into the second half just within 60 seconds. If you are gifted such opportunity, you just blew the ball anyhow. You had another opportunity. Your first control led you to fall down, and then you were calling for a penalty. What sort of attitude is that? And for me, I think that they didn't do much. As the coach said, that they did very well in the second. They didn't do much to deserve anything on the day, because as Kotoko withdrew in the second half, as Oklu said, they played very well in the first half. It seems the second half they were trying to manage the game based on the changes that they made. But I hardly found the Goldstars players hungry.
You didn't see the hunger in them?
Not at all, because unless Aso will go, he will run and he will fall. Kwabena Usu, he will control, he will lose ball, and he will look at the referee. Ronald Frimpong will be just turning around within the area, and there wasn't any constructive or transition that it tells you that Goldstars wants to do something. Kotoko were managing the game, and of course, as the coach said, the most important thing in this game was the 3 points. Look at the chance that I was talking about. Look at how he was even waiting for the ball. Just look at his demeanor. Just look at the position of the goalkeeper and how he controlled the ball. Watch it.
I think the first control was.
And I'm saying that the first control of a player determines where the ball goes for the second time. So if they can just look at the first control, you see. And who is going to give you a penalty? As the coach was talking about the penalty, who is going to give you a penalty on this?
I mean, the coach acknowledges that he would have to get a second look before he can actually come to conclusion that this was a penalty. But Kwabena Usu, I mean, this sometimes is unpardonable when you have such an opportunity, because it is an opportunity that you can capitalize on and score to pull parity for your team. And this was around the 80th minute, so had Kwabena Usu scored, the dynamics of the game could have totally changed.
Go back a little. I was looking at Emmanuel Kote, whether he hold the shoulders of.
No, he held him all right. He held him all right. Me, my concern is
there was contact from
Yes.
Kote, but that is not what
where was
coach,
the position of the referee, and look at the assistant referee. Watch the assistant referee. He was trying as much as possible to have an angle to see what was really happening. You understand my point? What's really happening? But for me, I found it very strange because he should have buried this ball.
I think he had all the time in the world to put that one at the back of the net. It becomes very difficult.
It's possible if the referee had been close, he would have taken a penalty.
Yeah.
It's possible.
And the referee
It's
wasn't
possible
close.
if the referee had been close.
But I am
because
just-
you saw the hand of
Emmanuel Kote.
Kote just at the neck of Kwabena Usu. But as a striker, you don't just leave yourself like that.
I've been notified by Mohammed Shaban, the statistician at the Ghana Football Association, that it was Justice Blay that was adjudged the most valuable player in the game.
I'm not surprised. I told you that if he is given the man of the match, I will not be surprised because he did a human's job today. I mean, from the blast of the whistle, especially the second half, the way he managed the back, the way he made sure that Kwabena Usu will be out, Alex also will be out, and Abednego Tote also came, and he couldn't even match Justice Blay. So it tells you that tactically he was very disciplined and he really, really marshaled the back for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He deserves it.
And I see him more as a central defender nowadays than a midfielder. I doubt he can operate very well as a midfielder in today's game compared to the way he plays as a defensive midfielder, as a defender. And I think the best position now for Justice Blay is the central defense. And since they moved to the back three, or either back four, moving to the central defensive area, it's working for him. Like they are getting the best out of him.
Of course, Kumasi Asante Kotoko is getting the best out of Justice Blay, and this is where we call it a wrap with our coverage. It has been an interesting one coming from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Kumasi Asante Kotoko beating Bibiani Goldstars by a 0-0 and 3 points in the bag for Prosper Nati Ogum. Tomorrow, we will continue our coverage of the Ghana Premier League here on Start Times and also on Max TV because there's a big game at the Sogakope Wafa Park where Great Olympics would be coming up against Heart of Lions. Heart of Lions have hit form and a new coach, Bashir Hayford. Tomorrow, let's meet at 2 p.m. as we bring you that one. It is Great Olympics against Heart of Lions. Thanks to Coach Ebenezer Sifa and thanks to Nanedu as well. And thanks to you at home for always choosing Star Times for the Ghana Premier League. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Stay blessed. Have a good evening. Till we meet again tomorrow. It's au revoir. Bye-bye.